guys, so maybe I should share a topic that's very close to my heart, which is travel. So how do you book accommodations in a travel? So what is that second portion of your travel cost that is quite pricey in a way and that you should really allocate a budget for, okay? So and that is accommodation. Kasi malayo ka sa bahay mo, so kailangan meron kang budget sa accommodation. And it depends. Like for example, if you are like me wherein, when the sun rises, I'm already out, and then I go back in the afternoon, then ang katwiran mo tutulugan ko lang naman yan, di ba? But if you're the type that, go back and forth, like for example, if I'm going to Marco Polo, I go back and forth because it's near everywhere, then you prefer an accommodation that, that you will be able to go back and forth, meaning you have a little comfort, okay? Although comfortable naman, yung style na sinasabi ko. Okay, and then, of course, sabi ko nga sa'yo, pag company sponsored, I indulge. Pero syempre, pag, within the naman may authorized based on my level, okay? And then, pero pag sarili ko, syempre nagtitipid ako, okay? And you should also consider safety. Safety because, maaaring mura nga, ang layo-layo naman. Like, one time, I chose an accommodation in Thailand na sobrang layo, na sobrang nakakatakot, which is immediately after the following day, I really have to transfer near a more safe location. And my daughter who has friends in Thailand helped me out to get out from that, parang tipong alam mo, doon ako nakatira sa Novaliches, parang so anyway, and then you also have to consider other costs. Like for example, your focus is tours, so you, like for example in Thailand, my focus is to go to the temple, which is a temple run. So I chose a location which is near Khao San Road or near the temples na malapit lang kung magta-taxi ka or even maglalakad ka, malapit lang siya. Okay, so those are the considerations. Like for example, when I went to Bali the first time, I stayed in Fontana with I have a friend with me, Uchi. She chose that and I like it, but it's in Seminyak area. If you know, Seminyak area is the area wherein there was a bombing in Bali, di ba? So parang, and yet we chose that because it's on the center of everywhere. And then so in the second time that I went there, I want to have a feel of how the fishermen, and I want to have the feel of the seafoods and all that. So I chose the Jimbaran area. So it really depends on, on your on your choice of saan mo ba gusto, okay? So ano yung mga plano mo sa buhay? Like for example, one time the first time I went to El Nido, I booked in sabi ko ang gusto ko kubo, ang gusto ko paggising ko, naririnig ko yung haplas ng alon, yung basta yung talsik ng alon, naririnig ko when I'm sleeping and all that. So in short, pumili ako ng ganun, beachfront, kubo, at naririnig ko yung ng alon. Mga ganon. So it depends on you. But then on the last time I went to, I preferred, nagtitipid ako noon. So I stayed at Spin Designer Hostel and apat kami sa isang kwarto at decente siya. Sabi ko, ang gusto ko may libreng breakfast. So iba-iba yung technique or iba-iba yung choices mo kung ano yung accommodation na gusto mo. When I traveled with my college classmates, of course, sila yung nag-arrange and usually they arrange the best accommodation na mura. Like sa Vietnam, we stayed at Art Hotel in Hanoi. Ang mura-mura, tapos libre yung breakfast, tapos ang sarap ng breakfast, ang sarap ng bread and all that. Oh my gosh, I like it. And then when I went to Taiwan, I stayed at Angel's Hostel. Angel's Hostel is just a walk away from the station, siya Ximending area, and lang siya, maglalakad ka lang sa station. Kasi katulad ko, matanda na kasi ako. So hindi ako pwedeng malayong nilalakad. Padalawa, mag-isa lang ako magbiyahe. So hindi ako marunong minsan magbasa ng mga bus. Hindi ako comfortable. I'd rather walk and all that. And so I chose location na malapit sa Bread Talk, yung malapit yung kainan, malapit 7-Eleven. So anyway, so may mga ganong considerations. Ano pa ba? When I went to Ho Chi Minh, kasi ang hilig ko ay kumain ng po. So, yung po is a beef, soup with na mainit na may mga, ano tawag dito? May mga vegetable something. Sabi ko, namura, so in short, my friend, Soki, booked me in New Saigon Hostel. So, yung ganun, ang lapit lang nun. Everything is malapit nun. Spring rolls is 16 pesos. Ang sarap talaga. Pero sabi ko nga sa'yo, ang harap niya palengke. That's another story. So, in short, there are many techniques of booking an accommodation. Kasi ganito ang katwiran ko. Di ba binook mo na yung airfare? And usually you book the airfare, 6 months in advance. Minsan, a year pa nga in advance. Di ba? Like for example, today is September? And I have a booking in September 2021 na. Mga ganon. So usually sa Cebu Pacific, 6 months. So in short, you have time to save for your accommodation. And sabi ko nga, consider your safeties, consider your preferences, consider your the risk, how risky you want it to be, no, di ba? So yun. So hindi pa ako hindi ko pa nasasagot yung tanong. So anyway, so of course, the usual sources are the following apps: Agoda, Booking.com, and Travelbook. Yan yung mga binubukan ko, okay, na accommodation. Hindi ako nagbubook ng mga package and all that. But of course, whenever it's a business trip, I arrange even the hotel transfer because I carry some laptops and some materials and all that. So, yun. But otherwise, Booking, Agoda, Ang maganda sa Agoda at saka Booking, you can book kahit walang credit card. At the same time, you can even book kahit hindi ka pa nagbabayad because there's a deadline to book, to pay. So like for example, when I went to Shanghai, you pay a few days before, something like that. And usually, mura siya. Mura siya in the sense na halimbawa, nag-walk-in ka sa hotel na yon, iba, mahal ang rate. Agoda rate is cheaper. Relatively very, very cheap. So that's why I suggest you use Agoda. And when you have an app pa nga, mas mura pa kasi may discount ka. Even Booking.com. Those are reliable booking sites actually. Very reliable. And you need it, you know why? When you travel, like for example, in the immigration, they would ask your accommodation. So kailangan may booking ka talaga. Yun yung hindi pwedeng wala kang booking kasi nga tatanungin sa'yo, anong assurance na babalik ka, di ba? So, kailangan yung may booking ka. So, yon. So, I used Booking and all that, and you don't have to have a credit card, but I have a debit card kasi from BDO. I don't have credit cards, by the way. So, I have a debit card from BDO and all that, but, tatanungin ka lahat immigration, even sa taxi, tatanungin ka kung saan ka nakatira and all that. And by the way, before you leave you leave to your loved ones saan ka nakatira para alam naman nila kung saan ka susunsunin, di ba? So, should something happens anyway. So yun yung technique sa booking ng accommodations. So sabi ko nga sa'yo, it depends on your budget, it depends on your risk, the risk that you want to take. It depends on your tours, what you will do in that particular kasi makakatipid ka sa transpo pag malapit ka sa mga accommodation. Tapos pagkabili mo, balik ka lang, balik. Di ba? So yun, and it depends. Like for example, if you prefer good breakfast, then magiging consideration mo rin yun. So yun yung technique ko na na ibibigay sa inyo. And you know what? Living in a room, of course, is safe. But living in a hostel is also very, very safe. Sabi ko nga, pag nagbalik ako sa Vietnam, I have a booking in April, I think, and in November for the Southeast Asian Games. Ipapakita ko sa inyo kung paano ako nabubuhay doon na hostel living. Okay? Papakita ko sa inyo kung but in brief, when you enter a hostel, you will register and all that. Depende merong nakalagay, yung accommodation mo yung luggage mo ilalagay mo sa isang room. Pero usually yung napuntahan ko, yung luggage ko katabi ko, meaning meron akong bunk bed na may kurtina na puti. Na safe yun. And the sheets are really, ang tawag doon? Sorry, I forgot the name. Basta maganda, malinis and all that, at meron kayong safe. Okay? And you have your own CR, tat-anim kayo and all that. And you know, usually ang mga kasama mo naman hindi naman mga balasubas and all that. So that's why I suggest also that you bring your own toiletries. Although I buy na lang sa sa 7-Eleven. So yun, basically ganon. You need an accommodation and you should be friendly then, and of course ako kasi, like, I'm an old woman, traveling. So, usually yung mga European, mga and all that, nagsa-travel din sila. Meron kasing area na pwede kang magbasa, pwede kang medyo cautious ako doon. Hindi ako masyadong, sa mga ganyan. Unless, talagang, medyo medyo maingat ako sa ganyan. Kasi, hindi mo alam kung, di ba, kung ipapainom sa'yo and all that, and I don't drink anyway. So, yun. So far I'm successful. Like for example, there was one also may time na gusto ko second floor. Kasi there is one time I booked an accommodation in Periking. So sabi ko beachfront, etc. My gosh, yung gate niya, yun na yung room ko. Eh di pwede akong silip na kitang